Hey guys, what's up? I'm Fraser.
I'm Kari
from Directing Real Estate. We're real estate agents who help foreigners
based in Kansai
to find apartments. And we're here to talk to you today about some information which we hope will be helpful for you guys for looking for apartments here in Japan.
Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So do you need to speak Japanese to rent an apartment in Japan?
Do you need to speak Japanese? Not really, but it helps. Right?
Right. Well, we do translation too.
That's right, we do translation, but it will make your life a lot easier living in Japan if you speak some basic Japanese. Like if you know how to introduce yourself, you can say your address, your phone number, your full name, date of birth, that sort of stuff in Japanese. Like that's basically what you need for most applications, right?
So can people rent an apartment from outside of Japan?
Yep, you can, but your options are very limited. Like there's very few places that you can actually apply to rent from outside of Japan, and they're usually a little more expensive. There are certain companies that have that application process set up, so you can just apply with your passport, your visa, and a credit card. But yeah, it's not a standard rental apartment. You really for your average or standard apartment, you really need to be in Japan so that you have the things that are required for the application, which is very basically your residence card, which you receive at the airport. A Japanese phone number is a big help. A registered address, which I know sounds weird because you're renting an address, but you need to have an address to do that. It's kind of a vicious catch-22 circle. But yeah, you don't need to be in Japan. You can rent from outside Japan, but it's much easier if you're already here.
So can you find an apartment that are furnished?
Furnished apartment? Yeah, they're around, right?
Yeah.
You can find them, but they're generally way more expensive, right?
Right.
And there's not very many. Most places here are completely unfurnished. Depends on the apartment, of course.
Right.
Most one-bedroom places, maybe not most, but a lot of one-bedroom places will come with at least air conditioning.
Right.
But
sometimes it comes with a mini refrigerator. It's
fridge,
mini, micro mini size.
Yeah. And lights and stuff.
Right.
But it really depends on the apartment. But yeah, a fully furnished place, you can find them, but they're generally more expensive. So it's kind of a good idea to be ready to buy your own furniture and stuff. Again, if you're staying for a short time, a fully furnished place might be a good option, right?
Yeah.
How much money do I need?
So
I know that's a weird question, but how much should people budget for?
So you can expect to spend about at least 3.5 times rent. That's including first month's rent, guarantor company fee,
Right?
brokerage fee, house
right?
insurance fee, locksmith fee,
Right.
sterilization fee.
Sterilization fee, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's those fees vary depending on the property, right?
Right, it depends.
And there are some places which don't require a brokerage fee. Is that right?
Right.
There are places that you don't have to pay a brokerage fee for, and of course some of those are negotiable as well, right? And then key money is on top of that amount.
Right. A key money and a deposit. If it requires, and it will be top of 3.5.
Right. And key money is non-refundable, right?
Right, it's not
And security deposit is generally refundable.
refundable when you vacate.
Okay, so there is in some cases there's money that comes back. Okay, cool. So yeah, once you figure out how much you want to pay in rent, what you can afford to pay in rent, you should times that by 3.5 to get your total moving in costs.
Right.
Cool.
So what's guarantor, and do you need to have a guarantor?
Do you need a guarantor? Well, a guarantor is like a co-signer.
Okay.
It's someone who like co-signs your lease, and it's required for most property here in Japan, including like for Japanese locals.
I have my father is my guarantor.
Right. Most people will use a family member, usually mom or dad. As long as it's an adult who's like fully employed or receives a pension, that's perfectly acceptable as a guarantor. I've used my father-in-law before, but like most of our clients
Yeah, don't have.
they don't have family members here, and most of them just don't have a personal guarantor, like anyone they could ask anyway. But the good news is you don't always need one, right?
Right.
There are plenty of properties out there that don't require a personal guarantor, and there's also companies that provide the same coverage as a personal guarantor, like a guarantor company service, and that's required for like most properties anyway, right?
Okay.
You sure?
So yeah. So what is the emergency contact and what's the responsibility?
Emergency contact, well, as the name says, it's somebody who the property management company or landlord can contact in case of an emergency. Like if you're renting the apartment and for whatever reason, like you have to go to hospital or you get arrested for something, and they can't contact you, the emergency contact is a person that they can call to figure out like where you are, and it's required for like 99.9% of property applications and contract. And that person, like, they just have to provide their name, phone number, date of birth, and address is usually the main things they have to provide. They don't have any like financial responsibility for the contract, right? And it's a good thing, like if you're coming to Japan from overseas, it's good to have that like an emergency contact person anyway. That's also like somebody that's good to have for like your family back home in case something happens to you where in Japan, if there's somebody that they can call as well as people in Japan can call. So if you can get that before you come to Japan, like if you have a friend who lives here, any Japanese friends or friends of the family, anything like that, if you can get that information before you even get started, that will help like a lot, right? So next thing, how long is like a regular contract?
So generally speaking, the contract term is either 1 or 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
1 or 2. Okay.
And then it will be auto renewal afterwards.
Okay. So like long term, if you stay longer than 2 years, your contract just like keeps
Right.
renewing, right? And if you want to like end your contract earlier, you can do that, right?
Yeah, you can do that. Usually there's a early termination fee when you cancel the contract within the contract term, which is the 1 or 2 month length.
Right. And you pay that and you can cancel it, right?
Right.
Okay. Cool. What if you want to stay, like if you're, so a lot of our clients are coming to Japan with like student visas or working holiday visas, which is like 12 months maximum. So some people can't sign a 2-year lease. And some people who are on a working holiday will only want to stay in one place for a little while. What do you recommend for something like that? Like as somebody who only wants to stay for maybe 6 months, or they're not even sure how long they're going to stay?
So in that case, we recommend renting our apartments, monthly apartments.
Monthly apartments, right?
Yeah, monthly apartments.
Right. But those are like more expensive, right?
That's more expensive because you're basically paying for the furniture,
Right.
appliances, and then usually utilities and Wi-Fi is already included into
Okay.
the rent.
Okay. But that's cheaper than like a hotel and stuff, right?
Right,
Like
it's
if you
still
just stay for
cheaper
one
than
month. And you can rent those from overseas too, right?
right. You can
Like
apply
you
for
book one, right?
overseas.
Okay, cool. So it's also a good option for somebody who needs an apartment when they first get here. So you can set up things like your phone and your registered address and that stuff. Cool. All right, my turn. Are you a cat person or a dog person?
It's a good question. I think I'm a dog person.
Okay, cool. Then we can get
Although
along.
I've never owned a dog or cat.
I've had both, but I'm a dog person.
You are.
But I don't own a pet here because it's just too hard to have a
Right.
pet. For those people who have cats or dogs, Good luck finding a place here in Japan which accepts cats and dogs. They're around, but they're generally rare and a little more expensive because you have to pay extra like key money or security deposit or cleaning fee.
Or some cases they raise the rent without any more.
Yeah. And more often than not, if it's pet friendly, it's usually only small dogs only, like no cats. And no big dogs. So, I mean, if your dog is the size of a cat, then there's no point in it. That's how I feel.
Thanks
Thanks for watching. Arigatou gozaimasu. We hope that you guys found the information in the video helpful. And don't forget to
subscribe and smash the like button.
And leave a comment below. Also, keep an eye out for some upcoming information videos like this one and some interesting properties that we found in Osaka, which we think you guys are going to really like.
See you
next time.